Hello, today we have to talk about the third part of this functions lesson. Today we talk about the functions and the arrays. As with ordinary variables and values, it is also possible to pass the value of an array element and even an entire array as an argument to a function. As you know, in the last lecture we talked how to pass parameters to the functions. There we pass any variables in any data types, integer type data variables, character variables into an array, into a function. We call them as a parameters. Today we talk how to pass an array into a function. Here to take the square root of the averages. Averages is an array which consists of I number of elements and assign the results to a variable called square root result. A statement should be like this. Square root result is a variable. It equal to square root is a function that taken parameters as an array. Averages is an array of I number of elements. Here, this is the way how to pass an array into as a parameter in a function. This is the example for that. Okay. To pass an array to a function, it is only necessary to list the name of the array without any subscripts inside the call to the function. As an example, if you assume that grade scores has been declared as an array containing 100 elements, then the expression should be like this. Minimum is an array function and grade score is the name of the array which consists only 100 elements. Here this is the way of passing that array into this minimum function. In effect passes the entire 100 element contained in the array grade scores to the function called this minimum. Function name is minimum. To minimum function we pass the array. Array is the name of the array is grade score, size is 100. Here just write in this array name, we can pass the entire array into the minimum function. Naturally, on the other hand, the side of this coin, the minimum function must be expecting an entire array to be passed as an argument and must make the appropriate formal parameter declaration. So the minimum function might look something like this. Here, this is a function int minimum, and here you have to mention the data type. When we are passing point, we just pass minimum, what is the array name. But here at the minimum function it takes integer type array name. We can specify the size here. That's not worry. In next example you can understand that. But here it is mandatory to mention the data type of the array. And this is the function body. This is another example. Here int minimum, this is the prototype of the function int minimum. It take only integer type array. This is the function declaration int minimum. Int name of the values is take as values and the size is 10. Here this is the function body. Here what it has done, it through this function it find the minimum value of the array. In next example, here this is the main function of this example. Here int scores is a integer. Scores is an integer type array which consists of 10 elements, and there is another variable I and mean score. Printf enter 10 scores. For I equals 0 to I less than 10 plus I, here it takes the values from the user and assigned into the scores array, and min score equal minimum, it pass this array into the minimum function. What does minimum function returns? Minimum function returns the minimum value of the array. It comes to here and printf the minimum score is like that. Okay, this is the way of how to pass an array into a function. Functions and arrays. In modification, in the function declaration, you can omit the specification of the number of elements contained in the formal parameter array. Here, in function declaration, you can omit what is the number of elements contained in the formal parameter array. The C compiler actually ignores the part of the declaration anyway. All the compiler is concerned with this fact. An array is expected as an argument to the function and not how many elements are in it. Here specifying the number of elements is not mandatory. Okay. Hello, today we are going to talk about the third parts of the functions lesson. Here we talk about the functions and the arrays. As with ordinary variables and values, it is also possible to pass the values of an array element as an argument to a function. As in previous days, we talk how to pass parameters to the functions. There we pass data in any data types, integer data, character data, like that we pass into the functions. So to take the square root of averages is an array, size is I, and assign the results to a variable called square root result. A statement such as square root result equal square root is a function and pass this averages array. This is the way of passing an array as a parameter into the function. Here, to pass an array to a function, it is only necessary to list the name of the array without any subscripts inside call to the function. As an example, if you assume that grade score has been declared as an array, grade score is an array which contains 100 elements. Just simply you can pass this grade score array into a function like that. Here minimum is a function. You pass this grade score set here. Just only mentioning the name of the array. That works. In effect, passes the entire 100 elements contained in the array grade scores to the function called minimum. There is a function called minimum. We pass that grade scores array into that minimum function. Naturally, on the other side of the coin, the minimum function must be expecting an entire array to be passed as an argument and must make the appropriate formal parameter declaration. So, the minimum function might look something like that. Int minimum is the function name. It gets the value int. Here you have to mention the data type. It must int and array name or name and size. Size is not mandatory. You can just type only the array name should be there. Okay. This is the example for this. Here include stdi.h. Int minimum, this is the prototype of the function. Minimum is a function. It takes integer type array. This is the way of writing this prototype. This is the minimum function declaration. Int minimum. Int takes, here is the values is the array name, size is 10. Here what it does, it select the most minimum value of the array. It return the minimum value of the array. In next example, int main void, int scores I, min scores, these are the variables. Scores is the array of size 10. Here it takes the 10 values from the users and saved in the array. Then it say min score equal. Here minimum is a function already declared here. We pass this scores array into the minimum function. You can see, you can just write the name of the array, scores. Here this is the way of passing the scores array as a parameter into the minimum function. Finally it prints the minimum score is min score. Here min score equal return value of this function. What is the return value? It return the min value. Okay. Modification in the function declaration, you can omit the specification of number of elements contained in the array. In function declaration, it is not mandatory to write the size of the array. In previous example, we have write here int value is 10, but it is size of this values array is 10, but it is not mandatory. The C compiler actually ignores this part of the declaration anyway. All the compiler is concerned only that the fact that this is an array is expected as an argument to the function and not how many elements are in it. It's do not worry about the how many elements are there or not. Okay. Here in this example, int minimum, int values, by using these square brackets, it takes an array. Size of array is not specified here. Okay. Let's get this example. Int minimum, integer type array is input and another integer variable. There are two parameters. This is the minimum function declaration. Int values, int number of elements. Here int min value y, these are two variables. Min value equal values 0. At the very first, it initiates the first element into the min value. From this for loop, what it does, it finds the minimum value of the given array, okay, and return the min value. Here, this is the main function. There are two arrays are there, array 1 and array 2. First array size is 5, second array size is 7. These are the values of the array, and print f array 1 minimum is what? It pass this array 1 into the minimum function. This is the way of passing that. Here minimum is a function. It pass array 1 and size of the array. Again array 2 minimum is minimum. It pass into the minimum function this array 2 and size of the array is 7. Here it takes the array and the number of elements. Based on the number of elements, it goes one by one and select the most minimum value in the array. Okay. Here what I wanted to emphasize is, when we are in the function declaration, it is not much important to specify the size of the array. Okay. Variables and scopes. A scope in any programming is a region of the program where a defined variable can have its existence and beyond that variable it cannot be accessed. There are three places where variable can be declared in C programming language. You have to remember there are three places where variables can be declared in C programming language. Inside the function no block, which is called local variable. If we have used a define a variable inside the function, or any block, we can call them as a local variable. And next one is the outside of all function, which is called global variable, where after the importing the stdio.h, all the importing libraries, including all the libraries, we can declare variables. These variables we called global variables. And next one is in the definition of function parameters, which are called formal parameters. And the definition of the function parameters, we call them as a formal parameters. Here, local variables are defined inside the function. Variables that are declared inside a function or block are called local variables. They are automatically created each time when the function is called, and because their values are local to the function, and they can be used only by statements that are inside that function or block of the code. Inside that code only we can use this variable. Local variables are not known to the function outside their own. If an initial value is given to a variable inside a function, that initial value is assigned to the variable each time in the function is called. Here, if an initial value is given to a variable inside the function, that value is assigned to the variable each time in the function call. Here, this is example. Here, in main, there are three variables a, b and c. Here, you can see this a, b and c have declared inside the main function. Therefore, we call that these are the local variables. A equal 10, b equal 20, c equal a plus b. Simply you know what is the result. A equal 10, b equal 20 and c equal to a plus b means 30. Here these are local variables. All the a, b and c are local to the main function. We can't access these a and b and c from any other functions which are outside the main function. If we have not passed this variable into these other functions, we can't access because these are local to this main function. Next variable type is the global variables. Global variables are defined outside of a function, usually top of the program. Global variables hold their values throughout the lifetime of your program, and they can be accessed inside any of the function defined for the program. A global variable can be accessed by any function. That is, a global variable is available for use throughout your entire program after its declaration. Here, this is a global, let's see, you can see G in G. Here you can see this variable is declared from the outside the main function, just after this include directive. This is a global variable. Let's see how to access this global variable inside the main method. Here int a, b, a equal 10, b equal 20, it say g equal a plus b. Then what will be the output of this? Value of a equal 10, b equal 20, and what is the value of g? G equal a plus b. although it has defined the outside of the main function, we can access inside our main function because this variable is a global and from anywhere in this program we can access that variable. I will show you the output of this. Here you can see int g, this is a global variable, and inside the main function we are asking g, we are saying g, initialization is done inside the main method, g equal a plus b. Although declaration not happen inside the main method, we can access because this is a global variable. Here I will compare this one. Here you can see value of a equal 10, b equals 20 and g equal 30. Okay. A program can have some same name for local and global variables, but the value of local variable inside the function will take preference. What is that? Let's see. It says that a program can have same name for local and global variables. Here you can see there is a global variable g equal 20. Inside the main function, it defines another variable called g. There it says g equal 10. Here there is a two declarations are there. This is a g equal 20 and here this is not the same g. This is another variable. There are how many variables are there? Two. One is a global variable which is g equal 20 and second one is the local variable which is local into the main method only. Its name also g and value of g is 10. Here if you print f value of g, what will be the output? Here it give a higher priority for local variable. It says value of g equal 10. I will show that one also. Here this is a global variable g equal 20 and you can see like that. Int g equal 10. There's a known variable called a. Okay, this is the what. Let's see what is the output. Value of g, it says 10. Why is that? Here it's a print of f value of g. Here it give a higher priority for this variable, local variable, than this global variable. Here think for a while, there is no local variable called g, there is only local variable name is a. Let's see what will happen. I will take two printf. One printf is print the a, second one is the value of g. I will save this one. Here it says value of a equal 10 and value of g equal 20. What is 20? This is the global variable. It accesses the global variable because this is common to the all method, all functions. Here in previous example we had the same variable name inside the main function. Therefore, that's why it gives a higher priority for that local variable. That's why it shows g as a 10. Okay. Next variable type is the formal parameters. Formal parameters are treated as a local variables within a function and they take precedence over global variable. This is a formal parameters. Here you can see in sum, this is the function prototype. It takes two variables, integer type two variables as parameters. Here it has declared a global variable int a equal 20. Here again it declared three variables a equal 10, b equal 20, c equal 0. Value of a in main function is what? It has to get a print. What is the value? 10 because it gives a higher priority for the local variable. Then it pass c equal sum is a function a and b. It pass this a and b. What is a and b? 10 and 20. Here it gives the higher priority for this local variable. Printf value of c in main function is what? See, this is the returning value of this sum function. This is the sum function. It takes two values, value of a in sum and value of b in sum. Return the a plus b to there. Okay, let's try to run this program. Here this is the program. Here there is a global variable a equal 20, int a, b and c equal 0, a equal 10 and b equal 20. Here it print the value of a in main function. What is the value of b, c in main function? When it comes to the sum function, it get the value of a in sum function and value of b in sum function. Okay. And it's return the a plus b. Let's see what is the output of this. We have to save this one. Here you can see value of a in main function is 10. Value of b in main function is what? Value of a in sum function is also what? The passing value, which is 10. And value of b in sum function is passing value, which is 20. Value of the c in main function is a plus b 30. Okay, I'll do a little bit change here. Here we are passing not a and b. I am saying that is c and d. C and d. Here you are passing a and b values, but it take as the c and d. Then I take b. value. I want to print the value of C. C D. Return C at C plus D. I save this one. Here you can see value of A in main function is 10 because this is a local variable. It has given higher priority. Value of A in sum function is, here there isn't any local variable called A inside this sum function. There it accesses the global variable which is 20. Value of C in sum function is this local variable which is entered as a parameter, that is 10. Value of D in sum function is the local variable which is 20. Value of C in main function is 30. C plus D. It returned to there. Okay. When initializing local and global variable, when a local variable is defined, it is not initialized by the system. You must initialize it to yourself. Normally, global variables are initialized automatically by the system. When you define them as follows, as an example, you have defined a variable in global variable integer type. Initially, it has default value which is 0. If you have defined a character type variable, it has initialized by default this null character. For floating and double values, it has 0. For a pointed data type, you will learn what is pointer in the next few lessons. Its initial value is null. Okay. It is a good programming practice to initialize the variables properly. Otherwise, your program may produce an unexpected result, because uninitialized variables will take some garbage values already available at their memory. Therefore, you have to, as a good programming practice, you have to remember always to initialize the variables properly. Okay, thank you. This is the end of this functions lessons. Okay, let's stop.